Another YouTube video. Be sure to follow our Instagrams and a few other channels listed in the description for more up-to-date news. And subscribe so you don't miss out on our weekly content and analysis. Towards the end of the video, we have a big surprise, so please stick around until the end. If you could drop a like, that would mean the world to our team. And also, we're testing out a new mic setup today, so please let us know if there's any issues with the audio quality. Let's get into it. NFL Week 17 Power Rankings. And last, we have the Jaguars. At this point, Jags fans should just celebrate as they clinch the first overall pick in next year's draft. They should rest their starters in Week 17. At 31, we have the Jets. Okay, this win from New York is just unintelligent, as they still had the chance to possibly retake the first overall pick in 2021, but they blew it. They beat the wide receiverless Browns and lost a pivotal pick. At 30, we have the Cincinnati Bengals. A tough win for the Bengals. This shows that they have potential against teams, but it's tough because they lost good positioning in the draft. Samaje Perine played well as the Bengals showed out within the run game. Next, we have the Houston Texans. Even though the Texans are ranked higher than a team that they just lost to, we think that the team performed well. Yet due to another horrible defensive performance, the Texans lost again. Now we have the Falcons. Blowing leads seems to be this team's hobby, even though they had a coaching change and a significant defensive performance against the Chiefs. A missed Younghoe Koo kick caused the defending champions a loss. Oh wait, sorry. The Chiefs actually won. The Falcons blew another lead. Now we're going to go on to the Broncos. The Broncos need a new QB, and think they're in a good position to get one, as they own a great draft pick. Not much to say, as we think this team will be at the bottom of the AFC for a few years to come. The Panthers. Christian McCaffrey might not return next week, and we suggest that he sits out, as there's no point in risking another injury in a pointless game. At 25, we have the Giants. Still, they have a shot of making the playoffs at 5-7. And they own a top draft pick. It's a win-win. But resting starters is not an option in Week 17. Now we have the LA Chargers. A pointless win here, as not being able to add a good player next year in the draft is disappointing. But Justin Herbert is the number one candidate to win Rookie of the Year at this point. At 23, we have the Lions. Matt Stafford is one of the toughest QBs that we've seen, as he played through an injury and still led his team. Now, at 22, we have the Eagles. It seems that Philly has found a long-term answer at QB in Jalen Hurts, as he is playing the lights out every single week. They need to get rid of Carson Wentz as soon as possible. Now we have the Patriots. Still, it seems that the Patriots have not found their long-term answer at QB, as Cam Newton continues to struggle. Next season, they should prioritize finding a good, talented, and well-scouted QB. Now we have the 49ers. The Niners have a good draft pick for next season, and they should invest in a QB. With a star QB, the Niners will be playoff threats for years and years to come. At 19, we have the Raiders. Yes, we know. Marcus Mariota was not in at QB, but still, he's the best QB that the Raiders have. With a loss to the Dolphins, that was a lucky play, but a heartbreaking loss. It could cost many Raiders their jobs this season, as they still did not make the playoffs. Now we have the Cowboys. With a win this week, the Cowboys can still make the playoffs, but it will be a tricky formula. Even though they won, the season is still not over for the Cowboys. Now we have the Vikings. The Vikings need a new QB to pair with Dalvin Cook and Justin Jefferson. Kirk Cousins is playing atrociously. Now we have the WFT, Washington Football Team. With Dwayne Haskins released, they need Alex Smith to come back from injury, or else the result could be losing a playoff berth. Next, we have the Rams. At this point, it looks like the Rams can give up, as they are without their number one wide receiver and starting QB. Next, we have the Bears. We think that Mitchell Trubisky is the answer at QB for the Bears. It also looks like the Bears' ferocious defense is coming back to its 2018 form. Now, we have power rankings for ranking 13 to ranking number 1, but we will move through them quickly as we have a surprise at the end of the video. So, before we do have the Cardinals, I moved on from them as we didn't really have much to say because the Cardinals took an L, and it looks like their playoff hopes are slowly diminishing. Next up, we have the Indianapolis Colts. Man, they almost beat the Steelers. That one would have meant the world to them. But they lost, which means that they will need a win and a loss from the Browns to make the playoffs. At number 11, we have the Miami Dolphins. Tua Tagovailoa seems that he cannot close out a game, as this is the third week in a row that Fitzpatrick has came in for him. At number 10, we have the Browns. A loss this week to the Jets. Come on, Browns. But their excuse is that they don't have a really good receiver, as every single one of their receivers was deemed close contact, and they didn't have a single receiver in the active roster. They can beat Mason Rudolph-led Pittsburgh Steelers next week, as long as Myles Garrett doesn't pick up a helmet again. Next up, we have Pittsburgh. Sorry, but they're not a good team. It seems that their early start was just a fluke, as they cannot beat an actual talented team. Next, we have the Ravens. They're looking like they have multiple MVPs again, as every single week they're looking better. Now we have the Bucks. Tom Brady is on a tear as crucial games continue to come up. But now, as they've clinched the playoffs, Brady will rest next week. Next up, we have the Seattle Seahawks. Man, with a bad defense, the Seahawks need to improve, or else the playoffs could be over as soon as they get there. Next up, we have the Titans. We think that they should rely more on Derrick Henry, as Ryan Tannehill isn't that consistent in the passing attack. At number 4, we have the Saints. The sheer depth that this team has, it's phenomenal. This could be a big factor in the Saints reaching a future round in the playoffs. Next up, we have the Bills. Josh Allen is an MVP candidate at this point. And this means that he could be the next Patrick Mahomes of the NFL. At number 2, we have the Packers. We think that they can ride their veterans all the way to the Super Bowl. And we have the Chiefs. We think that they can repeat as champs again, as long as their team stays healthy. And, of course, keeps their chemistry. Now we have the surprise. It's the current playoff picture. At the AFC 1 seed, we have the Kansas City Chiefs. And at the NFC 1 seed, we have the Green Bay Packers. At the AFC 7 seed, we have the Browns. At the 6 seed, we have the Ravens. And at the 5 seed, we have the Dolphins. At the 4 seed, we have the Titans. At the 3 seed, we have the Pittsburgh Steelers. At the 2 seed, we have the Bills. We think that out of all of these seeds, the dark horse candidate is the Bills. They could be poised to make a deep playoff run again. Or the Titans. Just like last year, they could make a Cinderella run. But out of everyone, we think that the Chiefs are going to make the Super Bowl. Now we have the NFC, where the Packers are number 1, and then the Saints 2, Seahawks 3, WFT 4, the Buccaneers are 5, the LA Rams are 6 seeded, and the Bears are 7 seeded. We think that the dark horse here is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, as they could ride their veteran experience in Tom Brady and Rob Gronkowski to another playoff victory, and maybe even to the Super Bowl. But the Washington football team could ride Alex Smith's experience to a deep playoff run as well. But out of everyone, the Saints look the best to make another Super Bowl appearance this year, though we think that the Packers will be in the Super Bowl. Next, we have our thanks for watching slide. So thank you for watching. Like and subscribe. I will leave links to other cool channels in the description for more up-to-date news. Please subscribe. Thanks for watching again. And last thing, we are going to be posting NBA power rankings next week. So if you guys like that type of things, then you guys should share that with your friends, and it would mean a lot for us.